So having two services, Prime Video for subscription and Amazon MX Player for advertising, stems from focusing on the fact that India is a really heterogeneous and diverse country with customers having very different needs.
Right.
So as we look at the two services, we address two separate set of customers. Prime Video is for customers who are subscription ready, who've actually transitioned to have streaming as their first choice or the only choice
Right.
of entertainment. And while Amazon MX Player for us is for customers who are now transitioning from linear TV or are skipping linear TV, but are not subscription ready yet.
Right.
But are seeking high quality content for entertainment. In terms of the model you already mentioned, Amazon Prime Video acts as an entertainment hub with subscription, transactional, add-on services. MX Player is more about the ad-supported service.
So when it all started, when we launched with a lot of international content because at that time for premium audiences, that's what they were used to or looking for. But we knew that for true brand affinity in a country like India, you need to offer local content. We were very clear from the start that this local content has to be highly differentiated from linear television. But at the same time, when it lands up on the service, sitting next to all this international content, it must be equally compelling, if not more. And so, to Gaurav's point, we've been very clear about premium, nuanced, and segmented content. And let me break that down for you in terms of what that means. When we talk about premium content, we're really talking about cinematic quality originals. Right. So the investments that we are making in the production quality for these originals is way higher than linear television, closer to cinema. And that's why we've been able to create franchises like, Made in Heaven and Family Man and Patal Lok and Call Me Babe, which have sort of not only helped shape our identity, but they've also grown every season. So just in the last 6 months, we've launched a crime thriller like Patal Lok, a rooted comedy like Dupaiya, a big unscripted format recently, Traitors, a horror show like Khauf, a whole bunch of movies. So this is the local content strategy, which then gets complemented with our international originals that come out of across the globe from the US, Europe, Latin America, shows like Jack Ryan, Reacher, Fallout, and a very successful YA slate with movies like Kalpa Tuya, Kalpa Mia, Maxton Hall. And then finally, we think of ourselves more broadly than just an SWOT service. It's like an entertainment hub. And so through our marketplace offering, we have subscriptions to be able to access content from various services like Apple TV and Crunchyroll, BBC, etc. And a huge library of TVOD rentals. Right. So that's really the shape and form for Prime Video.
Just a bit, I talked about it now, and a lot of people will be talking about it tomorrow, is microdramas. What's your vision behind this format and how you're investing in this growth? And I think to Nikhil, we've obviously spoken to Gaurav as well about this historically, but your movie strategy and how you're thinking about really double-clicking on the pay one, direct-to-service releases, and theatrical windows for your production. Two different ends of the spectrum, but why don't we start with you, Amal?
I must say this was expected. I think short-form dramas are really catching a lot of attention. But I'll probably take a step back and just talk you through our learning journey. While everybody talks about innovation that is required in the way stories are told, I think in this day and age, innovation is also required on the format in which stories are being told to customers. And that's really the big tailwind that is supporting microdramas worldwide. And especially for an Amazon MX Player kind of a service where, a bulk of a lion's share of our viewership comes from mobile, and that's a device that consumer is really carrying through the day. So while there is a use case of a Friday night binging on a web series or a Sunday afternoon, throughout the day there are these moments that get created during commute time, during coffee breaks, where the real need is, can we serve entertainment in that SKU on that packet size? And what really exists in the market right now is our short form videos, but they are largely disconnected. And that's where really microdramas are getting a lot of consumer attention and love, which is, can we say these stories of 60 to 80 minutes or 100 minutes in serialized episodes of 2 minutes each, where there's one story but being delivered in 2 episodes at length. So with this need gap is how we're looking at and getting into micro dramas. We're branding it MX Fatafat. Fatafat is a Hindi word. It's a local Indian word, which basically means quick and fast. And I think it aptly defines the journey that we are going in with short form drama. And we are quite excited from how we will find another way to serve to our customers and build engagement and love. But even as from a creative and a storytelling craft point of view, it's a different journey altogether, because it requires a lot of unlearning. It's a different kind of ways to write screenplays, very different production. So quite excited, Vivek, about this initiative. It's slated to launch later in the year.
We've heard a lot about creators and creator partnerships, and I'd like to start this obviously with Gaurav. Both of these services seem to engage distinct creator pools, right? How do you approach these partnerships differently? Because it's kind of schizophrenic, and more importantly, I think to give the audience some understanding, some of whom are here, what are creators asking for now, you know, and how are you sort of supporting their vision?
I think from us, the creative economy support is a very intentional part of our streaming strategy in the country. Whether it comes from the point of the early stages where we had to build long-form storytelling in India, in premium storytelling, which was not done, premium TV didn't exist in India, to actually, bring learnings from around the world to get, our partners on board, but also sharing what we are learning on each story and each success of each show more broadly, to then thinking about, how do we really get new creators and new technicians on shows? So, we've been very intentional about the fact that broadly 50% of our, cast and crew and creators are actually new on most shows. Right. And then we think about more intentionally increasing the TAM for each of these, the addressable base. So whether it's pan-India or globally. With all of that, I think we have actually formed a view that every successive show which comes from any service around the world, in the country, creates a new bar. And with that, I think when we actually approach this whole view, every year there's an intentionality to say, how do we really get new people in the ecosystem to actually create new shows? One of our big successes this year, Dupaiya, came from absolutely new creators,
right.
First-time creators. So I think the intentionality is very important. Amok talked about Fatafat as an example, completely new creator pool.
Right.
So both between the two services, the teams are very, very focused on developing a creator pool and expanding that. Theatrical is a great example again of the fact that our creators are asking for the fact that, hey, we want to make these movies, but we also want another window, and we support that window. So I think we very, very actively work with our creators to figure out how we can, do more with them, and also like to cater to bigger audience pools across the board.
You've obviously recently introduced on ads on Prime Video. I know the audience is very keen to hear about that, along with MX Player's AWOD Foundation. How are you thinking about, and the company thinking about monetization more broadly across the services? And what are the early trends emerging from ads on India and Japan now as well?
I think for Prime Video first, I think we have a unique model being part of the Prime program and a multi-benefit program offering best of shipping, shopping, video, music, and others. So, and then of course on video we have subscription, we have add-on services, subscription services, we have movie rentals, and now have introduced ads as an option for customers to watch with ads or choose to go ad-free. As we think about this and introducing ads, we think about how can we invest more in content over a long period of time, and adding advertising to it allows us to do that. I think from and we just introduced ads in India and Japan a little while back, what we're already seeing is a lot of interest from customers, from advertisers who are not just selling on Amazon, but actually well beyond that. And I also feel that it's, the Prime Video's reach and our content, along with the full funnel ad solutions that Amazon Ads provides, allow our brands to actually, with their campaigns, meet their objectives and of course grow the category overall. And I think that the last point I would like to add there is that our view on approaching the streaming opportunity in India is as much about creating our own content as about partnerships. And with what we do with our add-on services and TVOD, we actually bring on many global partners on board. Apple TV was the recent one which we launched, which allows our customers to get deeper access and our partners to get deeper reach. So I think we have a super slate in front of us. We have something for our viewers here to see as well. But we are very, very excited about the opportunity in front of us.